Hi, my name's Joe. Welcome to my channel. Last week I did a video about wave sequencing with the AKAI Force and MPC, and I got a lot of good feedback on it. I think a lot of you really enjoyed it and got a lot out of it. Today I want to show you how to get just a little bit more advanced with that. It's still not too difficult, but there are some more tips and tricks that I want to show you. Some things that you can do to just kind of push this a little bit further. Now, if you didn't already watch that video, I'm going to link it in the description. You should go watch that first because you're probably going to be lost otherwise. I'm not going to repeat what I said in the last video here. And then come on back and let's get into it. So the first thing I want to show you is how to take this beyond 4 samples that are in the wave sequence. So let's take a look. I've already grabbed a few more samples here. So right now I've got pretty much exactly what we had set up with the rhythmic pattern last time. It sounds like this. So 4 samples being wave sequenced. If we want to add some more, let's come over here and first we're going to take a look here. We've got the number of key groups set to 1. I'm going to bring this up to 2. And right here it shows the key group we're editing. Currently we're editing key group 1. And you can see I've got 4 samples in here already that make up what we're hearing. If I change this to edit key group 2 now, you can see that I've got 4 brand new layers on this second key group. So the first thing I want to do is come in here and select my samples. And let's see, I think I just named all of these, pluck 1 through 4. So we'll set layer 1 to pluck 1. Layer 2 to pluck 2. Layer 3 to pluck 3. And layer 4 to pluck 4. So the next thing, let's come back to the global tab. I think I've done this before. This is probably going to default to velocity for layer play again. So if it's not, make sure that you set it to cyclical. And what we're going to hear now is that we actually, if you take a look at these, both of these key groups are set to span the entire key range. So you can see that all the keys are highlighted in red for both key groups. And that's actually what we want. But right now we're going to hear the samples from key group 1 and key group 2 kind of playing on top of each other. So let's listen to that. They're both on the same note right now, so it might be kind of difficult to hear, but we actually do have 2 samples stacked right on top of each other. So to fix that, let's head over to the Effects tab. And I want to make sure that I'm on key group 2 here, and let's add an effect, and we're going to add the error delay effect. We'll come in and edit this, and I'm going to change just a few parameters here from the default. For the time, I want to set this to basically what I want my note repeat to be. So right now I'm using 1/8 for my division on my note repeats, and I want to set this time to be the same. I'm going to turn the feedback all the way off. I'm going to make sure the mix is set to 100%. And for this value right here, I want to make sure that this is dead center set at 100, 100, and that way there's no panning between the left and the right. So what that's going to do is delay that key group 2 sample by 1/8 of a beat. Next, let's go back and go into our note repeat settings. Right now I've got this set at 1/8, and let's slow this down to half its rate of 1/4. So basically, when I hold down a key now, I'm going to be triggering these samples every 1/4 beat, and I'll hear one of them from key group 1 immediately, and I'm going to hear the second one from key group 2 delayed by 1/4 of a beat. So let's check this out and see what it sounds like. Pretty cool, huh? Now, these next few tips that I'm going to show you could be done whether you're using kind of this 2 key group setup or just a single key group. It really doesn't matter, but since we have this one set up, I'm going to go ahead and show you using the 2 key group setup. So if we come back into the key group, one thing we can take a look at is here on the Samples tab. If we hit this a few times, we'll get over here to this 4th screen of the Samples tab. And you want to make sure that you're editing the key group that you actually want to edit. I could do either one of these, but just kind of be aware that sometimes this changes back to key group 1 on you. I think I actually want to do these for key group 2. So in this screen, you can randomize different facets of how these samples are played back. And because this is part of the sample engine rather than like the sequencer engine, this actually works in real time. So for example, we can pan some of these samples randomly. Let's try it with all of these samples on layer 2. This is going to probably sound better if you're wearing headphones, but let's hear what that sounds like. These parameters over on the left actually randomize everything in the key group. So there are things we can do here, like let's turn the attack up randomly for some of these and see what it sounds like. We can also randomize some things like the cutoff. In order to hear that, we would need to be able to set up the filter. So let's come over here and press on envelope twice, and that'll take us to the filter settings. Let me select maybe a low pass 4 filter, and let's set the cutoff down here maybe a bit, and maybe crank up the resonance some. And then if we come back here to this 4th samples tab, again, we'll make sure we're on key group 2, and I could randomize the cutoff amount. So you can actually do quite a bit in here. Have fun randomizing these different parameters and see what you can get. Another tip that I wanted to show you is inserting some silence in as one of these samples so you can kind of get a break in the pattern. Now, if you don't know how to record silence, this is pretty simple. We can go over here to the sampler. It doesn't really even matter what you're set to resample to. I'm set to resample left and right. And normally I would hit record here and it would wait for me to play a note. But if I just go ahead and hit record, it's just going to record some silence. So we could name that silence. And we'll go ahead and keep that. And now if I come back here to my key group, I could take any one of these samples on any of the layers. Maybe let's do it with this mellow pluck here. And let's change this one to silence. So that's a neat way to introduce kind of a space in your rhythm. Another thing we can take a look at is back here on the samples tab. On the global tab. And we've been setting these layer plays to cyclical, or cycled. I don't know what that actually stands for, one of those. But there is another option here, and you can do this per key group. So let's do this on maybe key group 2, the second set of 4 samples. We can actually set this to random. And so instead of just kind of going around and around in a pattern, it's actually going to randomize the order in which it plays back these samples. So that can actually be pretty fun as well. The last tip that I want to show you today isn't really specific to these wave sequences, but it just works so well with them that I've got to show you. So if I come over to the mixer and come over to effects on my key group, and let's see, I think this is in harmonic. This granulator effect just goes so well. It feels like these wave sequences and this granulator effect were meant to go together. So I like to start with a preset. I find that the ones in the soundscapes as well as the rhythmic both are really good starting points for these. So let me just pick this one called Mysteries, for example. I think I'm going to turn that filter randomization off for now. And maybe turn off the filter. But yeah, and the granulator, really have got some great sounds out of this. I would definitely, if you haven't checked this out in combination with the wave sequences, it's really a lot of fun. I think you're going to enjoy it. That's all I've got for you today. I hope that you're able to use these tips and get even more advanced and more mileage out of your wave sequences. I'll catch you next time. See ya.